All right, I got a job to do in Albuquerque. I'm going to be shooting some stuff for a really popular TV show, and my commercial flight actually out of Burbank got canceled. Yep, just a few hours before departure, the airline canceled my flight from Burbank to Albuquerque. Sometimes if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself, including jumping in an airplane and flying yourself 600 miles to work. Luckily, this sweet Cherokee 6 is up to the task. I got my mountain bike loaded up. I'm gonna try to hit up Sedona on the way back after the job is over and do a little mountain biking in the middle of the day, throw the bike back in the plane and get home. So LA, Albuquerque, do the job, Albuquerque, Sedona, ride the bike, Sedona, home. Should be a nice weekend. Let's go flying.
All those gauges are green. Airspeed's alive.
Flying a longer trip like this in a small airplane isn't necessarily as simple as hopping in and going, especially when there's weather along the route that involves clouds over the mountains of western New Mexico and possible icing conditions. A storm system was forecast to clear out of the Albuquerque area by the afternoon, but cloud layers would remain until the early evening, so my plan A was to fly an instrument flight through the clouds. In order to fly on instruments, I would need to fly at or above the minimum en route altitude, which along the routes to Albuquerque are mostly 9,000 feet, with a stretch over the mountains requiring 11,000 feet. Clouds were forecast to be overcast at 10,000 feet around noon and mostly clearing around 6 p.m., according to the cloud coverage depiction. But the terminal area forecast for an airport near the mountainous area called for a scattered layer around 11,000 feet as late as 7 p.m. The freezing level was forecast to be around 11,000 feet, right at the minimum altitude for part of the flight. Flying through the clouds with temps at or below the freezing level could lead to ice accumulation on the wings and tail of the airplane, which can quickly turn into a very unsafe aerodynamic situation. Icing has led to a lot of general aviation accidents, and it's another risk that a pilot must manage. There was an air mit warning for icing starting at 12,000 feet for the area on my route of flight for the early part of the day. I always leave myself a couple outs with a forecast like this. If I noticed any ice accumulation, I could turn around and very likely make the flight visually under the clouds. And I could always fly farther south to lower terrain or land and wait for the weather to improve, since it was forecast to clear out. So with the forecast expected to improve, I decided to attempt the flight with an afternoon start.
All right, I took off from Wyman. I am over the desert here, just south of El Mirage, dry lake bed over there, southwest of it. And I'm on my way to Albuquerque. I'm going to stop at Needles. Never landed there before, and I needed to get some fuel because my tanks weren't full. So I thought I might as well stop a little bit on the way instead of filling up at home, because that gives me lots of fuel reserves. Total flight time should be about 4.5 hours plus the stop. Started my descent for Needles.
I had never landed at Needles Airport before, and I was in for a bit of a surprise. Guess what? The fuel pump doesn't work. So I can't seem to get any fuel out of it. I tried calling ahead before I took off to make sure they had fuel, but nobody was here. There were no NOTAMs, so anyway, I can't get that pump to work. So I hopped over to Havasu, just a quick 10-minute flight away. Got fueled up at Havasu Air Center, and finally got on my way to Albuquerque, a bit behind schedule.
Should make it there about half an hour before sunset, so that'll be good. I don't love to fly after dark, especially over the mountains and stuff, so the weather hopefully will clear out of there by the time we get there. That's what the forecast is.
I had filed an IFR flight plan, so I picked up the clearance in the air.
Cherokee 1 Bravo Whiskey, reaching 10,000. You are cleared to the Albuquerque Airport by a direct break, Delta Romeo Kilo. Down as filed, climb and maintain 10,000.
All right, we're just about over Winslow, Arizona. I see a guy down there standing on the corner.
1 Bravo Whiskey for high train along your route, are you able 1-1000?
I am able 1-1000, 1 Bravo Whiskey.
Bravo Whiskey, when we get closer to the Zinni VOR, I'll have a climb for you.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'd love to stay here as long as possible, because I think I'm going to be under the clouds here at 10,000, 1 Bravo Whiskey.
No 1 Bravo Whiskey, right?
I am just under this cloud layer, and it's cool. Cloud surfing is awesome. It works on top and below. Sometimes below the clouds we get more bumps and stuff. It is a little bumpy, but it's not too bad. Those clouds probably are at about 11,000, so they mentioned I am going to have to climb up to 11,000 in a little bit for terrain, but I'm going to try to hang out here out of IMC as long as possible. Wow, this really is beautiful out here.
November 631 Bravo Whiskey, climb maintain 1-1000.
Okay, climb and maintain 1-1000, 1 Bravo Whiskey. All right, that means we're going to be going into the clouds.
As I flew through the clouds at 11,000 feet, I constantly monitored the outside air temperature and kept looking out for any ice accumulation on the wings.
I haven't seen any little ice accumulation and everything.
This was the stretch of the flight I was most nervous about. The minimum altitude was 11,000 feet, and the temps were starting to get close to freezing.
Looks like we got some darker clouds up ahead. So we just have a short area here where we got to be at 11. About a 70-mile stretch until we could descend. Outside air temperature is 36 according to the dynon. Albuquerque Center, Cherokee 631 Bravo Whiskey. I'm showing some precipitation ahead, about 40 miles. Wondering if I could get vectored around it.
November 1 Bravo Whiskey, I'm showing moderate precipitation, 12 o'clock, and approximately 35 to 40 miles, about 10 miles down, a couple small cells of moderate precipitation. Are you asking if you can deviate?
Yeah, I think when I get closer, I can wait till I get closer and then get to the right of it. Just go a little south of it. That'd be great. 1 Bravo Whiskey.
1 Bravo Whiskey, I should be able to prove that. Just let me know as you get a little bit closer if you still want to go to the right.
Albuquerque Center, Cherokee 631 Bravo Whiskey. I would like to try to get south of this cell that I'm showing precipitation here on the ADS-B weather.
For 1 Bravo Whiskey, your deviation right or south, of course, is approved to enable direct the Albuquerque VOR than the airport and advise.
Okay, southbound deviation approved when able direct to Albuquerque, 1 Bravo Whiskey. Looks like we are coming out of that bit a little. I can see the ground up ahead.
The outside temp had dropped to 33 degrees, so I was watching the wing carefully and was sure to have the pitot heat on.
Still good on the wing. Airplane's getting a free bath. I can see ahead that underneath this cloud layer looks pretty clear. I can even see some sunlight hitting the land over there. So I think once we get past this, I think the worst bit of the weather is right there. And I can see it, and that doesn't even look too bad. Albuquerque Center, Cherokee 631 Bravo Whiskey. I can go direct to Albuquerque now.
Number 1 Bravo Whiskey, clear direct Albuquerque VOR. Thank you.
Clear direct Albuquerque VOR 631 Bravo Whiskey. Thank you. All right, I got around the precipitation over there. I could see it. It was dark clouds. I could see it on the ADS-B. I'm around it. I'm just still in IMC here. I could see up ahead. It's bright. I'm about to be out of it, and he's cleared me direct to Albuquerque VOR. I've got 30 minutes left, and here we are breaking out of this one. There's a rainbow there, and Albuquerque is the pot of gold at the end of this rainbow, you guys.
Saratoga 1 Bravo Whiskey, turn right heading 060, descend and maintain 8,000.
Right 060, down to 8,000, 1 Bravo Whiskey.
Flying into a new airport is always a fun challenge, and a bigger one like Albuquerque is always a little intimidating, especially when there's still a bit of weather ahead.
Saratoga 1 Bravo Whiskey, Albuquerque Airport is 2 o'clock and 17 miles.
631 Bravo Whiskey, I've got that airport in sight there.
Bravo Whiskey, cleared visual approach, runway 12.
Okay, clear for the visual on runway 12, 1 Bravo Whiskey. Thank you, R2, for your services. Albuquerque Tower, Cherokee 631 Bravo Whiskey is on a 9-mile visual for runway 12.
Cherokee 631 Bravo Whiskey, Albuquerque Tower, winds 160 at 9er, runway 12, cleared to land.
Clear to land, runway 12, 631 Bravo Whiskey. All right, got 12 in sight. Got a little bit of precip. Looks like there's a little bit of the verga over there on the right. I should be maybe out of it, but none of this stuff is real violent or anything. It's just, you know, it's a little bumpy under here. Pretty sure that's runway 12. Cleared to land from 12. Gas, undercarriage, mixture, power, seatbelt, safety items. Mixture's a little lean because the airport's 5,000 feet. Looking really good here. Expecting a little bit of a right crosswind. A little bit of rain.
Flying myself 600 miles across 3 states to get to work when my commercial airline canceled their flight was super fun, and landing at the same airport with the big jets was just icing on the cake.
Now I just got to do the job, and I hope that goes well, and then make it to Sedona for some mountain biking.
I'll be covering that along with the very eventful flight from Albuquerque to LA with a mountain biking stop in Sedona on another video, so subscribe to get in the loop. If you like this video, come join our Patreon membership and get exclusive perks like bonus content, our own Discord chat server, Zoom hangouts, and merch discounts. Thanks for coming along on the journey with me.